All right, guys, Mark just got smashed jigging on the live scope. There you go.
Oh, baby.
Nice one. These ice fire jigs, they just don't lie. Good morning and welcome to another episode with Real Hustle. Today's a pretty special day. We're getting ready to go meet the legendary Armstrong family. That's Mark and his son Scott. We're going to be fishing with only ice fire jigs today, as well as their ice fire system rod and reel. We've got the snowmobiles out. We're going to a lake that holds big fish, and we're hoping to see some piggies. So thank you guys for all of your support on this channel. Subscribe if you haven't, and let's get straight to the fishing. $6 a.m., 16 degrees, 0 wind. Looks like there's some good conditions here at the reservoir. So we're gonna start getting suited and booted and get the sled off the trailer, get this day started. Let's get them. We've got the Otter sled with the cover attached to the snowmobile, and now we're just waiting on Mr. Mark and Scott to get here and we'll be on the lake. So we're out here on the lake now, and Mark and his son are drilling some holes, getting them scooped out, and just getting ready to start getting some action. So once we catch a few fish and we get into the day, we'll tell you a little bit more about his ice fire system and his ice fire jigs. So stay tuned. All right, guys, Mr. Mark's on the first fish of the day. He's jigging.
I'm fishing 3 feet of water, so I'm getting to come into crustaceans early in the morning. He went for my other rod first. He said he didn't want it. So he shot over and pulled this one down. Here he comes.
All right, guys, the orange head chartreuse body with the red tail ice fire jig does it again. Quick slow-mo and we'll get rid of this fish. This is a new pack of ice fire jigs these guys just handed me. I still got about a dozen in my box, and all dozen of those have caught 10 or 20 fish each, and they're still going. So these things last, they catch big fish, and they're great jigs. We'll talk more about them midday. All right, guys, white lightning. Mr. Mark Armstrong with his ice fire jigs. Mark just got this fish. I'm just helping him handle it because it's cold and it's wet. So Mark and I are making a little bit of a trade. This is, I don't know how many pounds, but red snapper that I caught one of my last trips to Florida.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, we won't have any trouble keeping it cool.
No.
I got something for you too. Did a little hunting this year. Got some elk breakfast sausage, elk burger, whitetail, all kinds of little goodies down in there.
Thank you, Mark.
You betcha. I know you'll eat it.
All right, guys. Scott just got hooked up.
This guy hit the black ice fire jig.
Is it the egg-sucking leech ice fire pattern?
Oh, brown.
Brown trout. The pattern does it again. Got some sliced ribeye here. Next we're gonna cruise on this avocado. Bunch of fire pistachios in there. So I just busted out my Garmin Live Scope so I could put it down next to a hole next to one of Mark's rods just to see if I'm seeing anything cruising around down there. All right guys, Mark just got smashed jigging on the Live Scope.
Look at him just hold.
That's what we want to see.
White lightning.
Yeah, that's acting like a big fish. What'd you call it, a barn door?
Yeah. That's what they call it. Halibut in Alaska. Back to the bottom.
There you go.
Oh, baby.
Nice one.
Another beautiful fish, white lightning by Mr. Mark and Scott over here. These ice fire jigs, they just don't lie.
As the season goes on, fish get real finicky. They're not really opening their mouth as much. So you guys that are using jaw jackers, you're going to get a lot of pop-offs, but no hook sets. So what I've done is I dropped down my size to 1/64 and then 124th ounce jigs. It's a much smaller hook. They work like a diabetic needle. They really stick to fish.
All right guys, Scott's on another fish here.
Thrashing.
Not a bad one. All right guys, white lightning does it again. This 6.5 pound, just fat mama rainbow trout.
So today we're fishing, I was fishing 18.5 feet of water just up off the bottom using the white lightning ice fire jig. And this jig right here. And it's just turned out to be, it's got a glow head, fluorescent white chenille, fluorescent white tail feathers. Everything in my box here catches fish. We're doing a dozen jigs for 45 bucks plus $5 shipping. This year we're sending out this latter half of the season a small jig box that goes with the jigs. Kind of helps you store them a little better.
Decent one.
Chrome dome. All right, guys, this one ain't chartreuse, just another big old fat female, silver chrome dome.
I use jaw jackers from time to time, but I still love my 25 thousandths gauge piano wire off the end of the rod. I make and have made these wheel reels, and they eliminate line twist completely. All my control, as you've seen on that brown trout, is on my index finger. As it back reels, I put a mild amount of pressure on this wheel here. And I'm unwinding the line the same way it was wound. My system weighs just under 5 ounces. My son has caught monster fish. I mean, probably bigger than Dad. And we're out of Laramie, Wyoming. If you guys are interested in any of our stuff or whatever, you can look me up on Facebook, Mark Armstrong, or my boy Scott Armstrong. We'll be happy to help you with any advice, videos, anything you need, we're there. There's nothing we love more than to see you people catch fish. I think some of the finest people I have met have been ice fishermen. So I really appreciate y'all watching this. I hope you've learned a little something. Thank you. Y'all take care.
So it's 4 o'clock now. We're just getting ready to pack the sleds, get back to the truck, and kind of do our breakdown. So let's get over there and I'll give you a proper outro. Scott's about to get sketchy. Well, that's going to conclude this episode with Reel Hustle. I hope you really enjoyed it. Ice fire for the win. I mean, the systems, the jigs, hanging out with Mr. Mark and Scott and just watching them slay pigs all day. That was awesome. You guys definitely need to touch base with Mr. Mark. He can put you onto these jigs, his systems, and even give you some awesome knowledge on how to be more productive on the hard water and fly fishing. So don't hesitate to call Mr. Mark. And thank you guys for all of the support, not only on the Reel Hustle channel, but also with Ice Fire. We'll see you guys in a couple days for another episode with Reel Hustle.